This is a story that, for all respective purposes, is just here for the writer to make fun of things that he thinks are either stupid, funny, too true, or all of the above. I am the moon. Well, I'm more of a moon god that knows everything, including the fact that the person reading this is bored out of his or her fucking mind and is just reading this because he or she can't seem to go out and do anything productive, like get a job. I also know that you're wondering why the fuck I said his or her if I'm a moon god that knows everything. But to be honest, I really can't tell what the fuck you are. Go shave. But I digress. I was created from the sun goddess. She created me to be her brother of sorts, but we're not related by blood, I swear, and she doesn't talk to me very often. The sun goddess's name is just Sun, and mine is Moon. Straightforward, right? Pretty fucking creative. Now that introductions are out of the way, it's time to begin the story. I woke to a world of pure light. As I held out my hands in front of me, the light silhouetted my hand and the visuals immediately reminded me of a Final Fantasy game. One of the newer ones anyway. There's a good chance that anybody with half a brain would be wondering how I knew what a Final Fantasy game was when I was just born. Well, calm down, you'll find out. When I closed my eyes, I immediately began hearing voices. Like, thousands of voices. They all were complaining about things, but what they were complaining about, it just... I didn't understand it at the time. It was rather trippy. Thankfully, my creator, who's not my mom, emerged from the endless light, and this J-pop the writer is listening to says that she has to be a cute lolly girl. I mean, she's probably centuries old, I'm just saying, but she came out of the infinite light and smiled at me with her mature body and yet young face. Or is it the other way around? Who the fuck cares? She greets me exquisitely, and with the sophistication of a rabbit. Hello there. My head was swirling as if I had both a concussion and was wasted. Sup? I managed to utter through my numb lips. She gives me this look as if I had just blown ass in front of her. After a moment, she calms down and speaks. Moon, she calls me. You have been created for one thing. I stared at her, hoping and praying that she would say, to kick ass and chew bubblegum. She continued. You created to listen to people's complaints, most specifically the first world nation's complaints. But I have way too many questions, I say, a melodramatic frown across my lips. She then explains the role I play in the world. Her words kept coming, bombarding me for hours about how it was important that I listen to humans complain and talk about their lives. She also explained to me where I came from, how it was she created me. It was all quite boring. Just imagine the first episode of The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, except I'm Nagato. If you don't know what that is, I'm not going to explain because you should go watch the show. It's pretty awesome. And so here I am. I stand in the sky, in the same place all day, every day. I'm not the moon, but more of a spirit possessing the moon. A soul, and the moon is my body. My routine is, as the earth rotates around below me, I close my eyes, facing the area in front of me, and listen to the reasons people are sad. It is quite boring here, yeah? I need some sort of entertainment. But the complaints are always... Hideyoshi likes a different girl. My dog licked my dick and I liked it. Angry Joe has a different opinion on a game than me. My husband didn't get me a dango for my birthday. I have a job at the SCP Foundation. Hatsune Miku isn't performing in America this year. PT was cancelled. All of these are reasons that people are horribly sad. My comments usually involve me calling the whiny twat a little bitch and comparing them to other people. That's another thing I should mention. All of the complaints I've heard, I can remember in great detail. They're stored away like books in a library. All I have to do is just pick it out and read it. The library is constantly growing, expanding every time I close my eyes. But you know what really pisses me off? Every once in a while, Sunbabe will show up and take one of my books. She doesn't say anything, she just shows up, looks sexy, makes me feel dirty, and poof. She goes over yonder, shaking her sun-baked ass as she walks away. Just to tease me since I don't have a dick. Wait, do moons have dicks? Probably not, but Rule 34 is taking care of that, I'm sure. I lose that book, and I can't remember why that person was sad anymore. It frustrates me that that bit of knowledge was lost forever. But no, I just listen to complaints all day. I'm essentially an omnipresent deity that can hear other people complain at any second. I didn't even get to pierce any sort of heavens, not even with any sort of drills. It felt like I was listening to Daft Punk's Robot Rock. It was really interesting and fun at first, but then you find out that the entire song is that, and then you become really discouraged. Robot cop, yeah, just that, over and over. It got to the point I began to hate people, even the ones who had legitimate complaints. I always said to myself, there was a way that they could have stopped that or gotten around the problem. I don't really know how long that went on, but it felt like years. It didn't quite feel like an eternity, but it felt like a long while after a single lifetime. Finally, a special day arrived. It was the day I sort of became self-aware that I did nothing but bullshit around. It was just the same thing over and over again. It became draining, and I was ensnared in a horrible disease called depression. Miss Sun, I said aloud. Yes, she responds. Why do you take those people's memories away from me? What do you mean, Moon? Why am I collecting these complaints if you come and just take them away? Quite the change of character, Moon. Answer, you slut. Please, thanks. She sighed. We both stared down at the earth for a brief moment. I was blocking her sunlight during the day. It was a special event to humans. It was an eclipse. Yes. I almost forgot what it was called. It was a rare time she and I could converse regularly. Sun lit up, ready to speak. I take them away because that person no longer needs those complaints anymore. They become happy. What the ass does that mean? I replied. It means that I give the person back their sadness, but not in its pure, raw form. I give them their sadness as a reminder as to why they should be happy. I stopped for a moment, thinking about how fucking stupid she sounded. But then I asked her, is there any way I could be happy too? She paused and sighed. You want to be happy? I need you, you know? Without you, there will be no way for me to organize people's emotions, and depression will just run rampant through the world. Honestly, I'm having trouble as it is. Can I just have a day of happiness? I could tell her mood lowered because she wasn't shining on Earth as bright as she normally would be. After a brief pause, she nods. I don't really want to explain what happened next, but I will. No, we didn't fuck, if that's what you're thinking. You know how I had the ability to hear people's sadness? Sun has the ability to hear people's happiness, and for just half a minute, she gave me this ability. It felt like a Skype call or something when you got a really bad connection, but then it suddenly starts working. Or like when you just got a brand new car and everything just works right. The conversations that people were having with each other made me laugh, but in a nice, genuine way. I saw people kissing loved ones goodnight, and I smiled. I saw people making it through serious surgeries, able to see their family again, and I cried. Fun fact, never once on this job before then did I cry. I just frowned or laughed at the pitilessness of their sadness. But now I realize why. After that, she returned me to my body. I awoke to a world of pure light as my eyes adjusted to the lamp sitting on the desk next to me. Through the light, I saw my mother in the chair to my side. Oh my God, you're awake! Her voice initially cracked, like she hadn't spoken in a while. The face she wore wasn't how I remembered it. Before this, she'd see me and immediately smile, one that made me feel like someone actually cared about me. But now her face was old, tired, and full of wrinkles. Her hair had grayed as well, but I was not sure if it was from stress or age. Streaks of her brunette hair were visible, but for the most part it was just a corrupted ash. Her eyes had become dead, as if she was staring at a window and not through it as something beautiful. For just a moment, I was blind to what was happening and how it all happened. I don't think she was supposed to, but she leaned in and kissed my cheek. I barely felt her lips because my beard had grown so long, but it still felt really nice. During my teenage years, I had tried to follow my dream as an artist. Fuck, it's so stupid now that I think about it. There was a night when drawing ideas just wouldn't stop flooding into my mind. It was annoying, irritating at worst, yet I decided I needed my father's sleeping pills. When mixed with my other medication, it stilted my brain functions, and I didn't wake up in the morning. I wasn't dead, but the combination of drugs put my brain to sleep. I have been this way for almost 8 years. I know, right? Fuck, why was I so stupid? I wasn't sure if it was all just a dream at the time, and I didn't really know if it was all some sort of crazy fabrication I had created while I was under, but I knew that I had to make the most of today, even if it wasn't a dream. We talked all day. She told me how my siblings were doing, and that they were on their way to visit me. The idea of talking at the time just sounded really nice, great even. We both stayed in that room until twilight dimmed the windows. Since I awoke, my mother never left my hospital room, not even to use the restroom or anything. Her son was just far more important. My mom just finished saying, "I love you." She said that so many times that day. It had become a bit of a pattern, not that I minded hearing it. After she had said it, I closed my eyes and said it back, as deeply and as passionately as I could. "I love you too, Mom." I opened my eyes. Instead of my mom sitting there, it was Son. That statement I made before this one, about me reopening my eyes, it's a lie. They just stay closed instead. I found myself once again in my lunar body. I focused my senses, hoping to hear my mother's sadness. I needed to catalog it if Son was to one day return her happiness. You realize what I've done, right? Thank you. Thank you for listening to my complaints. It's great to know that someone actually does care, you know? Just remember, I'm always here for you to vent to. Always. Always.